Fair play, the moral dilemmas of spying, and to catch a spy, the art of counterintelligence. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dr. Jim Olson.
Well, thank you very much, Tatiana, for that prayer and for that nice introduction. It's a real pleasure for me to be at the College of the Ozarks and have the opportunity to share with you some of my experiences in the CIA. And since the College of the Ozarks is all about leadership and service, I'd also like to say just a few words about two absolutely essential ingredients of leadership and service: dedication and commitment. You cannot lead without dedication and commitment. You cannot serve without dedication and commitment. But I'm not going to talk about dedication and commitment in the abstract, but rather in the context of my experiences in the CIA. And that's not because I think I was any paragon of those virtues, but I think by doing it that way, I can illustrate better some of the larger points that I would like to make. I'll be happy to answer any questions you have at the end about my experiences in the CIA, about the CIA in general, about current events, about dedication and commitment, or anything else that's on your minds. But before doing anything else, ladies and gentlemen, I think I should make it absolutely clear where I stand. I believe that the greatest and most powerful country in the world, ours, must have the very best intelligence in the world to protect its citizens and to defend its vital interests. And so if that's true, and America needs intelligence, then it's also true that America needs spies. And I am proud to say that my wife Meredith and I were spies for the CIA and for our country for 31 years. And I got to tell you, even now, it feels strange to be standing before a group talking openly about spying. Because the entire 30 plus years that Meredith and I were on active duty in the CIA, we were undercover. We could not tell anyone where we really worked or what we were really doing. During all those years, my parents did not know that I was in the CIA. Meredith's parents did not know. None of our friends knew. I bet you can imagine what a shock it was to all those people after all that time, when by regulation, Meredith and I were required to come out from undercover for me to accept a professorship at the Bush School of Government and Public Service at Texas A&M University. The CIA does not allow its officers to be on college campuses covertly. So we had to come out. No one had suspected anything. Unfortunately, by coming out, Meredith and I lost some friends. Some of our friends could not or would not accept that we've been lying to them for all that time. They felt that we had betrayed their friendship, that we violated their trust. I really regret that, because I think what they did not fully appreciate was how vitally important cover is to us in the CIA. And I'm sure the reasons for that are obvious to all of you. First of all, we need cover for effectiveness. You're not going to be a very effective spy overseas if everybody knows who you are. So you have to pretend to be someone else. You have to pose as something else. And of course, that's what we call your cover. And secondly, we need cover for safety. Because what we in the CIA do for a living, what Meredith and I did for a living, espionage and covert action for our country overseas, can be, and in our case often was, a dangerous profession. And so you need cover for the safety and protection of you and your family. living undercover is not easy. It's a difficult and demanding way of life. You never really get used to lying to everybody about who you are and living a double life. It helped me a great deal in living that difficult undercover lifestyle that I met Meredith at the CIA. So Meredith already understood the culture of the CIA. She understood the risks we would face in our life together. She understood the sacrifices we'd be called upon to make. And maybe most importantly, Meredith understood in the event we were to marry and to be blessed with children, what the implication would be of raising a family in that kind of lifestyle. I should point out, by the way, that the CIA is a great place to meet people of the opposite sex. Because when I met Meredith there, I knew she'd had a thorough background investigation. Got regular polygraph exams, and of course she knew the same thing about me. I was born and raised in Iowa. I came from a small town. I was the first in my family to go to college. I studied mathematics and economics at the University of Iowa. When I graduated, I took a commission in the United States Navy. I served for 4 years as an officer aboard guided missile destroyers and frigates. And I really loved the Navy. I seriously thought about staying in, but I finally decided I wanted to go back home. I wanted to go back to Iowa. So I left the Navy. I applied for law school at the University of Iowa, was accepted, and that was my dream at the time. I wanted to get my law degree, practice what I thought was an honorable profession in a small county seat town in Iowa, serve my community, maybe even run for local office. At that time, this was before Meredith, okay? Find a nice Iowa girl, settle down, and raise a family. And what I thought then and still do is the perfect setting for that small town, rural America. And I was on track for that dream. Until one Friday afternoon, which I'll never forget because it changed my life. I was in my last year of law school. I was sitting in my dormitory room in Iowa City when the phone rang. And the voice on the phone said, "Mr. Olson, we think we have a career opportunity that might be of interest to you." That sounded great to me. I was already job hunting. So I said, "What would that be?" And he said, "Let's just say it would involve serving our country in a different way." Now, does that sound just a little bit strange to you two? It did to me. I remember saying, "Sir, may I ask who's calling, please?" That's a fair question, right? And he said, "We'd rather discuss that in person." He said, "Can you be in the lobby of the Hotel Savory in downtown Des Moines?" That was about a 2-hour drive from Iowa City. "Tomorrow, 1 o'clock. I said, "Well, I suppose I could. But how will I know you?" And of course, he said, "Don't worry about that. We'll know you." Can you all help me out here? How stupid was I to go to that meeting? No, honestly. If those circumstances reproduce themselves in your lives one of these next Friday afternoons, would you go sight unseen to a meeting like that? You would now, right?
I'd be like,
I went to that meeting because I thought it was the Navy. I was still in the Navy Reserve. I figured, this has got to be the United States Navy. Getting back in touch with me, seeing if I'd like to come back and active duty for some special project. So I drove over to Des Moines, walked into the hotel lobby. 2 gentlemen approached me. First thing he said was, "Mr. Olson, We are from the Central Intelligence Agency. I almost fell on the floor. That had never occurred to me. I barely knew back then what the CIA was. And then it got real serious real fast. Because the next thing they said was, we need your word of honor right now that you will not reveal to anyone. And we mean no one. Not your parents, not your brothers, not your sister, not your best friend, not your girlfriend, no one. And you have had any contact with us whatsoever. They said, if you cannot swear to that, then this meeting is over. So what would you do? I suspect you probably would do what I did. You'd be curious. I gave them my word. We sat in the corner of the lobby for 2 hours. They didn't know a lot about me. And it clearly went well because at the end of the 2 hours they said, if you would like to pursue this, we would like to invite you to Washington discreetly at our expense as the next step in the process. They said in a short time you will get a letter mailed to you at your law school address in Iowa City. It will be on the United States Department of Commerce letterhead. It will be inviting you to go to Washington to interview for a position as a lawyer with the Department of Commerce. He said that letter will be from us. And you should follow the instructions in that letter. And when you get to Washington, we will find you and take you away from the real meetings. In the meantime, he said, if anybody needs to know why you're going to Washington, you can show them that letter and tell them that you're interviewing with the Department of Commerce. But then they reminded me, do not forget, they said, you cannot tell a soul why you're really going to Washington. You know, even now, I sometimes find it surprising, but that's what I did. And sure enough, shortly after I got to Washington, they intercepted me. They whisked me away to a safe house in Virginia for several days of really intensive interviews, aptitude testing of various kinds, foreign language testing, physical fitness test, a very thorough medical exam. They actually had a laboratory right there in the safe house. Psychological screening like you would not believe. It seemed to go on forever. Then a whole series of polygraph exams, lie detector tests on every, and I mean every, aspect of my background and personal life. Somehow I survived all that. And shortly after I returned to Iowa City, I was discreetly contacted and offered a position in what we call the clandestine service, the Directorate of Operations, the undercover espionage and covert action arm of the CIA. I was intrigued by that offer. I eventually decided to accept it. But I still went ahead and finished law school. And I still took and passed the Iowa bar exam. Because I remember distinctly, as I was packing up in Iowa City to head east, I was determined that I would do this CIA thing for just a couple of years. I guarantee myself, Jim, after 2 or 3 years, you are going back to Iowa and pursuing that original dream you had. Well, it didn't quite work out that way. And I don't want to belabor the point, but the truth is that service to our country and the art of espionage quickly got into my blood, and I realized very early on that this was what God's plan was for me. To help ensure that this great country of ours had the very best intelligence in the world. And you know, when Merritt and I look back on our long CIA career now, we have no regrets. In fact, we have a nice, warm feeling to know that we were, as we saw it, privileged to have served something we believe in so deeply and we know to make a difference. Ladies and gentlemen, I had found my dedication in my life to our country. And I had found my commitment in my life to help do everything I could to protect the American people. Like all new CIA officers, then as now, it hasn't changed. I had 2 full years of training before my first overseas assignment. The training is really good. Most of it takes place at this undercover base in Virginia that we call the farm. And down at the farm, a lot of training is paramilitary. So we learn about a lot of different kinds of weapons. Weapons that in some cases, those of us who have been in the military, we're already familiar with, but also some very ingenious weapons. Things designed exclusively for us by our engineers, things that did not look like weapons, things that look like what you might carry or wear routine in your person every day, but when modified by our engineers, were very deadly. My students at the Bush School, in my intelligence classes, sometimes ask me, Mr. Olson, what was your favorite CIA gadget? And that's hard to answer because we have so many good ones. But when pressed, I tell them, I think my favorite CIA gadget was my belt buckle. I said it was just a single shot, but sometimes a single shot is all you need. So when we do chat afterwards, please don't stand in front of me. When you retire from the CIA, you're supposed to turn on your gadgets in. Some of them are just too good. Does anybody want to see my pen? At the farm, we also learn to protect ourselves, our own form of hand-to-hand combat. Well, let's not beat around the bush here. We are trained to kill with our hands. I'd like to ask for a volunteer to come up now for a demonstration. Maybe you in? No, I don't think so. I think it would be a good idea. We also learn about explosives, how to blow things up. Now, because sabotage has been, and I think always will be, one of our important missions in the CIA, we learn how to jump out of airplanes. And that makes sense too, doesn't it? Because we're going to be inserting, as we often do, a single operative or a covert action team into a remote hostile area. Sometimes the only way to do that, or the best way to do that, is from the air. That's why we continue to require that our officers all be fully jump qualified. Okay, I have a question for you now. When I joined the CIA, I was part of a group of 25 young people from all around the country. We all went through this training together. Would anybody like to guess back then how many of those 25 were men?
All of them.
24. Believe it or not, we actually had one token woman. And Sally, at that time, was definitely a token. Because for all intents and purposes, the CIA's clandestine service was male. In fact, we thought we were so macho and so cool. We had our own jargon. Everything was kind of based on male bonding. And I'm not saying necessarily that those things are bad. But what I am saying is that today we are a much stronger clandestine service for being totally diverse. Today we recruit large numbers of young women into the clandestine service. We make no distinction in the training our young women receive or the kinds of assignments that they have once they complete the training and are certified as what we call overseas CIA case officers. Meredith was a pioneer. Meredith was one of the first women to go through all that training at the farm and to serve overseas as a full-fledged CIA operations officer in her own right. Meredith and I, what we in the CIA call a tandem couple, a husband and wife team, and we really like that, and the CIA has lots of them. And Meredith and I found it just incredibly fulfilling to be able to go off on CIA missions together. Now, on occasion, Meredith and I would each have our own separate missions. And unless we had a need to know, which we rarely did, we wouldn't know what the other separate missions were. But the overwhelming majority of our work for the CIA was done as a husband and wife team. And we really enjoyed that. Later on, when we had children, the CIA was always very good about providing us with nannies. So we had child care available immediately if Meredith and I needed to go off together on some urgent mission. And don't worry, those weren't just ordinary nannies. Those were CIA nannies. And I can assure you those CIA nannies were well trained and well armed, and we had no concern about leaving our children in their care and protection while we were gone. Sometimes when I talk about this with my students down at the Bush School, I get a hand from the back. Mr. Olson, how do you become a CIA nanny? And we recruit for that job just as we recruit for all of our other jobs. When I think of the role of women in the CIA today, I'm reminded of this young woman who came into my office down at the Bush School a couple years ago. She was just starting our 2-year master's program in national security studies with a concentration in intelligence. She told me that she came from a small town farming background. She said she had never been outside the United States. But she sat down in my office. She said, Mr. Olson, I've been thinking on it. I've been praying on it. I think I'm genuinely interested in considering a career in the CIA's clandestine service. I said, Jill, that's great. I'll be glad to help you in any way I can. But first, let me explain to you what we in the CIA do and the kind of training we go through. So I'm doing that, and she stops me. She said, Mr. Olson, this is not going to work. I said, well, why not, Jill? She said, because I know I could never jump out of an airplane. I said, Jill, that's okay. You won't need to jump out of an airplane. Because there will always be someone standing next to you who would try to push you. This story, of course, has an amazing ending. Because Jill followed through. She had the dedication and commitment in her life to make her dream a reality. She completed her master's program. She learned the required foreign languages. And she was recruited by the CIA's clandestine service. And as we're all sitting here comfortably and safely in this beautiful location, you'll never guess what Jill is. Jill is in Afghanistan. And she is leading a CIA covert action team in Taliban controlled territory. And I'm so proud of Jill I can hardly stand. I'm probably not supposed to tell you this, but I'm going to anyway. That is not a unique story around here. Because the CIA recruits very actively and very successfully in this part of the country. There are a lot of people from this region who are being recruited by the CIA every year. So we would like to thank this college and also this region for sending us such well-qualified young men and women who have the patriotism and the honor and the faith and the character to be the kind of young people we're looking for. At the farm, we also learn what we call the tools of the trade. So we learn things like surveillance, clandestine photography, how to tap a phone, secret writing, how to bug a room, what we call flaps and seals, how to open packages and envelopes without leaving a trace, lock picking, all the things we read about in the spy novels or see in the movies. Those seem quite real to us, but for us at the CIA are part of our everyday skill set. After all that training, as good as it is, you're still not ready for that first overseas assignment. What more might you need? Foreign language. So if your language for the country you're being assigned to isn't already up at the very, very high level we require, you're going to get some additional, intensive, one-on-one, total immersion language training. I'm biased, of course, but I happen to think that the CIA has the best foreign language training in the world. We can take you from zero to full operational fluency in a very short time. It is grueling, believe me, but we will teach you the language. The CIA taught Meredith and me 4 different foreign languages: French, Russian, German, and Spanish. And that's by no means unusual. That's a very typical CIA career. Okay, you're getting close to that first overseas assignment. There's one last thing that you have to do. It's very important. We've touched on it briefly already, but that's cover. We're going to be assigning you a cover. And so if you look right to the outside world and so nobody should expect anything, guess what? You're actually going to have to do that cover job. That's why we match the cover we give to you, to your education, to your background, to your interests. So it's something you should be comfortable doing. And also that family and friends who know you well will consider it plausible that's something you might actually be doing. In our case, shortly after Meredith and I were married, we were assigned to Paris. I went out in an international banking cover. No one in the Paris branch of that bank knew the truth. So what does that mean? Well, I had to go to that bank every morning, put in a full day's job as a banker, keep my unwitting banking supervisors happy, make a lot of money for that bank, and then do my spying on nights and weekends. You figured it out, haven't you? That's right. In effect, you were doing 2 full-time jobs. And the implications of that on lifestyle, family life, marriage, and children are obvious. You cannot do this kind of work unless you have a spouse who is deeply committed to our country and to the mission of the CIA as you are, and who's willing to accept that level of sacrifice. It won't work otherwise. Of course, in my case, it was easy, because Meredith was also one of us. It seemed like the few times that I was home, Meredith was off operating somewhere. I wouldn't know where she was, what she was doing, what identity she was using, or when she'd be back. When she came back, I disappeared. And she wouldn't know any of those things about me. Meredith and I probably had a dozen different identities when we were in Paris. We had forged passports, driver's licenses, credit cards, diplomas, life histories, addresses, phone numbers, family members, pocket litter, disguises to go with each of those different identities. All of this spy gear we hid in our apartment in Paris in what we call concealment devices. These concealment devices might look like an ordinary piece of furniture, for example, but it actually been manufactured by CIA carpenters. So they had concealment cavities buried inside them for us to hide all this incriminating material. Why was that so important? Well, because what Meredith and I were doing in Paris was a crime. Not under U.S. law. We would never violate U.S. law, but under French law. Espionage is a crime in every country. In fact, under the French criminal code, if you're caught spying on French territory, regardless of what country you're doing it for, you're allowed up to 40 years in prison. I can guarantee you that is not an item of concern for those of us like Meredith and me who go out under what we call deep cover without diplomatic immunity. Because we know and accept going into it that if we get caught, we will be on our own. If we get caught, we will do the time. If we get caught in almost every instance, the CIA and the United States government will disavow any knowledge of us. And of course, that's the way it has to be, to protect first and foremost our country's interests. Meredith and I sadly have dear friends from the CIA who had the misfortune of getting caught in the act of spying overseas without diplomatic immunity, and they're in prison right now. And we do not know when, if ever, we will get them out. Please keep them in your prayers. Cover becomes a big issue too when you have children. Think about that. What do you do about your children? The CIA leaves that up to us. I'm grateful that it does. We can tell our children the truth or not as we see fit. Many of our friends and colleagues in the CIA go through an entire career undercover, retire undercover, and never tell their children the truth. And for whatever reason, that works best for them, and that's fine, that's their decision. Others of us aren't comfortable lying to our own children forever. We love them, of course, and we are proud of what it is that we've actually been doing for our country. We'd like to share that with our children if we can. But if we are going to tell them the truth, we can't do it when they're too young. Why is that? Yeah, they'll tell everybody. Yeah. We're also concerned if they're too young, it might be too much for them. It might be too frightening for younger children to know that they are part of a CIA family overseas and that there's danger associated with that. So if we do tell our children the truth, we usually wait until late high school or early college years. And that seems to work best. How do you think the kids react? Probably the most common reaction is disbelief that their parents could actually be doing something so cool. We've got these good friends in the CIA, we were talking about this. They said when they told their daughter the truth, when she was about 17 or 18, her reaction was to run to her room, slam her door, jump on her bed, and cry. Non-stop for quite some time because her mom and dad had lied to her. Her mom and dad had trusted her. And she was brokenhearted. She felt betrayed by her own parents. And unfortunately, that sense of betrayal is not uncommon among CIA kids when we tell the truth. Every time I think about this, I'm reminded of John and Nancy, good CIA friends of marriage of mine who served together in Moscow. We were reminiscing on this subject. They said when they told their daughter Leslie the truth when she was about the same age, 18 or so, she reacted with relief. I said, John, what do you mean by relief? So when we told Leslie we'd been in the CIA over the years, she said, well, thank goodness, Dad, that's what it is. Because I had always sensed that there was this big family secret. That I was afraid that maybe you and Mom were brother and sister or something. Our hand was forced when Merritt and I were serving in Vienna. You may not know this, but Vienna, Austria has been and continues to be a real battleground of espionage. Merritt and I were doing some really aggressive operations against some Iranian terrorists that were operating in and through Vienna. To this day, we don't know how, but somehow those Iranian terrorists found out that the CIA was behind their problems. And that I, Jim Olson, was the chief of station in Vienna. So those Iranian terrorists sent me a letter. And very ominously, they mailed it to our home address in Vienna, where Merritt and I were living with our 3 children. I'll never forget that letter. I've kept it all these years. It started out, Dear Infidel Dog. Don't you just hate letters like that? Anybody else ever get one? I hope not. You kind of know right off it's not going to be friendly, right? There was a death threat against me by name, against Meredith by name, and against each of our 3 children by name. The CIA actually offered to pull us out of Vienna because of the death threat to the children. And it was really Meredith, a remarkable woman, kind of contrary to all maternal instincts, who said no. She said, we've been sent here with a mission to perform. We're not going to be chased away by ugly letter from some terror. I wasn't concerned about myself. I had all the training. I took all the appropriate precautions. I was always armed, always wore my vest. My car was armored. I had bodyguards whenever I needed them. And I hope you're not going to misinterpret what I say now, particularly you young ladies, because it may not sound very loving or chivalrous on my part, but I was worried about Meredith either. But we should all meet Meredith sometime. You'd see that she's petite, she's feminine, she's beautiful, but she's also really dangerous. Meredith had all the same training. Meredith is more than capable of taking care of herself. You would not want to mess with Meredith. I certainly don't. So our real concern, of course, was with the children. And even though it was really with the right, because our oldest Jeremy was only 16 at the time, we felt that because of the death threat, we need to bring him into the picture. We took Jeremy aside one day, we sat him down in an acoustically secure room, said, listen, Jeremy, Mom and Dad are in the CIA. We are a CIA family. There has been a death threat against our family, and we need your help. That's kind of a lot to put on a 16-year-old, isn't it? You see, you need to watch out for your little brother and sister. Make sure you've always got them in sight. You get on the same school bus. You need to be alert to your surroundings. If anybody's watching you or loitering or following you, you've got to get in touch with someone in a position of authority right away. Jerry reacted with pride, as you'd hope he would. He did a really good job of watching out for his brother and sister. And with his help, and also a lot of other precautions we put on the children that they weren't aware of, we were able to finish our assignment at the end. I can't tell you, we all felt a lot better when we got those radio texts. And then when they're a little bit older, we were able to tell Josh and Tony the truth. And they reacted with pride too. And speaking of pride, I hope you won't mind if I mention how proud Meredith and I are of our 3 children. Jeremy, the oldest, went on to become a United States Marine Corps officer. And he's out now and is doing campus ministry, which he feels called to do. Our second son, Joshua, was a Navy officer. He's just gotten out and he's in graduate school, working toward his goal of becoming a high school teacher. And our youngest, our daughter Hillary, is a missionary in Ethiopia. So it's very gratifying to Meredith and his parents to know that our children had the dedication and commitment of their lives to devote themselves to serving others in one form or another. Meredith and I were talking about our children the other night. I said to her, you know what? None of our kids will ever make any money. I said, that's okay. There are more important things in life than money. And of course, she's right about that. When we tell our CI friends that Hillary is a missionary in Ethiopia, they say, sure she is, Jim. I think she really is, but I might not know. It's kind of funny. When we told Hillary we were in the CIA, she was a teenager. She took that on board, and a couple of days later she came back to me all serious. She said, Dad, I want to know the truth. She said, I want to know if you ever traced any of my boyfriends. I said, Hillary, of course not. I would never do that. That would be a violation of your privacy. So I lied to my own daughter. You're darn right I chased those guys. I think I'd be negligent a father of a daughter if I had the capability. I didn't do it. But just don't kill Hillary. Hillary, all right. Well, Meredith and I serve in many different countries. Some we talk about, some we don't. We work against a lot of different targets. Our number one target over the years was certainly the Russian KGB. We also worked at other times against the Chinese, Iranians, Cubans, North Koreans, nuclear proliferators, terrorists, narcotics traffickers, organized crime. Practically any threat that you can think of to our country's security, Meredith and I worked against at one time or another. It has been a wonderful journey. And Meredith and I both say the same thing. As if we could, we'd like nothing better, be able to go back and do it all over again. Meredith and I really envy you young people. Because Meredith and I know that if you choose, you have the opportunity to serve in things like the CIA, or the FBI, or the military, or some other form of service to others. And we know that if you choose to do that you will find a deep sense of fulfillment and satisfaction in your career of service to others that Meredith and I found in ours. Now, I don't know what your dedication and commitment will be in your lives. For some of you, it'll be business. For others, it'll be the military, teaching, engineering, the law, agriculture, homemaking, journalism, politics, medicine, who knows? Some of you may even have careers in spine, as Meredith and I did. But whatever it is, my sincere wish for all of you here in the College of the Ozarks is that you find what it is in your heart that you truly believe in, something you care about, and that you find a way to dedicate and commit yourself to that. Life is too important to spend it doing something you don't have a passion for. Please, whatever you do, when you complete your education, do not settle for a job. Anybody can have a job. Aim higher than that. Find your calling. What's in here? It will change your life. A life of dedication and commitment will give meaning to your life, fulfillment to your life, joy to your life. Our namesake at the Bush School, before he passed away, told our students over and over again, he said, there is no definition of a successful life that does not include service to others. You all know exactly what I'm talking about. I can see it in your eyes. The fact that you're at the College of the Ozarks tells me a lot about you already. You are what I call infected. You have that bug to serve. And if you are infected and you know who you are, don't fight it. Because that bug is terminal. It will never go away. And if you end up doing something where you're not serving something you truly believe in, something larger than yourselves, that bug's going to nag at you. And that bug is going to say, Allison, this is not where you're supposed to be. You were called to serve. And if you don't do it, you will never be happy. So my sincere wish for all of you here this evening is that you find what you truly believe in. I wish you lives of leadership and service. I wish you, above all, lives of dedication and commitment. I'm going to stop right here, and I think we have a little bit of time left for questions. I believe there are mics set up on the side. So please come on up and ask any questions or make any points that you have.
Hello?
Yes, hi.
Okay. It's on. Hello,
What's your
Mr.
name?
Olson. My name is Corbin.
Corbin?
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I have two very brief questions. After hearing your talk, I think that both of them have pretty self-explanatory answers, but I'm going to ask them yours. First one being, how much do you know that you can't tell us?
I would say that most of what we did we can't talk about.
Okay. My second question is, were you serious about that pin in your pocket?
Yes. You may not.
Okay.
We go over here now.
Hello.
Hi.
Thank you so much for being here. My question is, as a man of faith, how did that influence your decision both in the field and off the field?
Yeah, you all heard the question. As a man of faith, how did it influence my decision about a career? Meredith and I could simply not have done what we did without our faith. It sustained us. It gave purpose to our lives. There were times when we were out on operations, we were not 100% certain we'd come back. I think we talked a little bit about this at dinner tonight, Justice. But when we were out there at the most dangerous times, with our lives on the line, we could physically feel that we were not alone. We could feel His protecting presence. And that gives you so much power. It gives you so much confidence. And that enabled us to do our job. So faith, in short, was absolutely indispensable to us. And I find that the CIA, contrary to our stereotype, is a very faith-filled organization. We actually have Bible studies at CIA headquarters. We clear pastors, priests, rabbis to come in for counseling and to conduct services for our employees. We're probably violating some federal law about separation of church and state. But hey, we're the CIA. We're going to do what we want anyway. Yeah, Jared and I have never known finer, faith-filled people than people we serve with at the CIA. And faith is kind of a common denominator. I can tell you also that it is a factor in our recruitment. When we find young people of a commitment to God, we quite often see that they share also a commitment to our country. We seem to go together. I've seen this on this campus for the last 2 days. Patriotism and faith over and over again. So yes, we could not have done what we did without the faith. Yeah. What's your name?
I'm Ben.
Ben? We're going to do for you.
And so my question is, you talked a lot tonight about like what it looked like on the ground from the like clandestine agent's perspective.
Yes.
But are there, I don't know, like how, what your answer might be, but are there other fields or vocations in the CIA that deal more with like oversight in international relations on a like macro level?
Yes. Yeah, we have a wide variety of job descriptions in the CIA. What I was talking about tonight was what Merritt and I did on the operational side, on the clandestine service, undercover. But we also recruit a lot of people as analysts, as administrators, as security officers. We have a need for practically everything. And so yes, you can go into the CIA. You can even acknowledge the family and friends that you're working with the CIA. You can't talk about your work, but you can be overt to the extent that you can openly admit that you were in the CIA. Now, on the operational side, where Merritt and I were, absolutely not. You're undercover from the beginning. At the Bush School, where I teach, if we single someone out as a potential clandestine service operator, we coach that young man or woman right from the beginning on how to conceal the fact that they're even in the process. We coach them on how to lead people to believe that they really weren't interested, they didn't follow through. At the Bush School, when you hear someone say, well, you know, I talked to those people for a while, and I never heard back, I must not have been what they were looking for. Or the more I found out about it, the more I realized it wasn't for me. At the Bush School, those are usually the ones who are in. Because cover is so important. We're very serious about it. Your safety will depend upon the integrity of your cover. So we're not going to take any chances. Thank you, Ben. What are you studying?
History.
Good.
With a emphasis for pre-law and law school.
Are you infected, Ben?
Most likely.
Yeah, good. Yes, sir.
Well, sir, thanks for coming and speaking for us. My name's Nathan.
Nathan?
And I just got a question, because you mentioned that you were a naval officer, correct?
Yes, sir.
So how did your life in the military compare to your life in the CIA?
The similarities did exist. What I think the service in the military did, and James knows this because he was also in the Air Force, it does kind of reinforce that bug that you feel to continue serving our country. So when I came out of the Navy, I didn't know exactly what I was going to do, but I did have a pretty strong feeling that one way or the other, I was going to serve people. And so I think the military was a great foundation. Are you considering the military yourself?
Yes, sir. I want to be a submarine officer.
Good for you. Yeah, if any of you are interested in the military, I would certainly support that decision because I think it's a fine way to serve our country. But it also prepares you for other forms of service to our country later on. I'd say the number one pool for recruiting for the CIA is former military. And it's not a prerequisite by any means. When we find it, we like it. And so service in the military is a wonderful investment in your future across the board. Okay. Thank you, Nathan. Okay. Good luck in the Navy. I hope it works out for you. Thank you.
Hi, thank you so much for coming. My name is Cassie. Cassidy, and I'm a junior criminal justice major.
Oh, good. I love criminal justice.
My question to you is, what set you apart, and did they ever tell you why they chose you?
Yeah, I didn't know how it worked then, but I do now, Cassidy. I don't want to shock you. The CIA has spotters, particularly on college campuses all around the country. On college campuses, we call our spotters P sources. You know what the P stands for? Professors. There are professors on college campuses that we've identified who, for reasons of patriotism, no other benefit, we don't pay them anything, but they are willing to help us with our mission. We find professors like that, we clear them, we brief them on what we're looking for. If they see a young man or woman who's got the right stuff, they pass us that name and we make a cold approach. That's what happened to me. I don't know who my spotter was, we never revealed the identity. I've got some suspects on the faculty of the College of Law at the University of Iowa. To this day, I don't know. What I think the spotter saw in me was former Navy. That's a plus. I already spoke pretty good French and Russian. I spent a lot of time overseas. I was in graduate school making good grades. For whatever reason, the spotter thought I might be a good fit for the CIA. And I'm so grateful, because I never would have thought it on my own. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, fire away.
Thank you for coming, Mr. Olson. I just had a really quick question, and
Yes,
it's actually a little bit political.
Okay.
It's okay. So I know that.
Why? I'm not surprised that we're going to get a political question tonight.
So for 3 years.
What is your name again?
Nathaniel.
Nathaniel.
Yes, sir. For 3 years, we've had the Russia scandal going on with Trump,
Yes.
and Papadopoulos and Michael Cohen and a bunch of other people been
Right.
accused. What's your opinion? It's nothing's really come out of the dossier, but it
Yeah.
doesn't say anything. So what's your
Well,
opinion?
my opinion on the Russia scandal is we, the American people, deserve the truth. And I have no trouble with the investigations. If there's something there, the American people need to know. I have not seen any evidence yet, Nathaniel, that I find very persuasive. If there is something there, I want to know about it. But I hope at some point we have some resolution. I think going on forever like this is really harmful to the public discourse. So let's get on with it. You know, either produce or admit openly that you just could not find the evidence. One way or the other, let's end this thing. And so far I haven't seen it. It would not be something I would put past the Russians because they have a tremendous capability. Vladimir Putin is obsessed with America. I first worked against Vladimir Putin when he was a lieutenant colonel in the KGB in East Germany. And we knew already what he was. We knew he was a ruthless killer. And he's even more dangerous today. But show me the proof first. What do you think of that?
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Hi.
Hi. Hello. So, my name is Olson. Thank you so much for coming to speak.
Yes, a pleasure.
My question was, what was the most, I guess, funny or interesting thing that happened while you were in the field? Can you share?
The funny or interesting thing?
Yeah.
There weren't a lot of laughs. Yeah. I think maybe the most interesting thing that I was involved in, we talked about this at dinner a little bit. When I was in Moscow, I went down a manhole underneath the city and tapped the top secret security cables for the Russian government. That was interesting. It was also pretty intense because I knew that if I got caught down there, I wouldn't come back. But here I am. And we tapped the cables, and we were able to get wonderful intelligence from inside those top secret cables. That would, I think, qualify as interesting in my career. Yes. Maybe we have time for a couple more.
Hello, sir. My name is Isaac. I just wanted to first thank you for your service in the military.
Oh, you're welcome.
As a quick kind of closing thought, I was wondering, or hoping at least, that you could pray for us in French.
Oh, I can't do that. No,
Or any other foreign language.
I've lost a lot of my spoken facility, so I would not be comfortable doing that. But I'm going to pray for all of you in my own language. Yeah, because I'm so impressed by what I've seen here. All of you young people have inspired me. So I will be praying for you.
I would also love to shake your hand.
And then just one more. Okay. Yeah. One of you here, then I'll finish over there. Yes, sir.
Thank you very much for being here tonight. I just want to say I've been going to the school for 3 years and I've never come down for a question, so I want to thank you for being supremely interesting. I don't think anybody
That'll be a good one. You set yourself up.
Oh, well, I was just curious, just hypothetically, if, say, there's a college student that maybe doesn't know what they're doing with their life, but it's kind of been going okay so far.
Right.
I really want to do something for God in my life and serve people and live in purpose and, like you said, not just have a job. Do you have any closing advice or?
Pray. Pray for guidance. And He will speak to you when the time comes. Guaranteed. He will tell you where He wants you. It happened to Meredith. It happened to me. It's inevitable. It happens to all my students at the Bush School. When they come there, they don't always know how they're going to serve. But they always have clarity along the way. What is your name?
Doyle, Ryan Doyle.
Ryan, you will also have that clarity. And when I'm praying for all of you students, I'm going to say a particular prayer for Ryan Doyle. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Last question.
So my name's Caleb, and I'm sure you've been asked this numerous times before, being from the CIA, but what do you think of like Edward Snowden, and like to what extent should privacy be jeopardized for the sake of security?
Well, thank you for bringing up Edward Snowden. Y'all know who Edward Snowden is? He was an American who had access to top secret information and shared it with the whole world. He caused great damage to our national security. He had no right to do that. I'll be happy to give you my impression of Edward Snowden. I'm going to try to stay calm. It's not going to be easy. Edward Snowden's a traitor. I think he's a contemptible human being. And I think he has found his own prison by being forced to live in Russia under Putin's protection. And it aggravates me to no end to find that there are people in this country who hold him up as some kind of a hero. He's no hero. He's a lowlife who betrayed our country. Have I made it clear how I feel about Edward Snowden? I look forward to staying around afterwards if any of you would like to continue the discussion. I think I'll be in the back somewhere, wherever Jamie and Nick want me to be, I'll be. But I would like to conclude by saying one last thing, and I think it's very important. It's really a message that I wanted to leave with all of you here at the College of the Ozarks. Never in my career have I considered the world more dangerous for America than it is right now. But there's good news. And the good news is that our country will prevail against its enemies. We will win because of our superb military, our police, our firefighters, our emergency responders, and our intelligence personnel. And we will win above all because our best young people, you, like every previous generation of Americans, are stepping forward in droves today to answer the great challenge, the great threat of your generation. So I'd like to say, may God bless all of you young people. May God bless the College of the Ozarks, your faculty and staff. May God bless all of our men and women in uniform, our police, our firefighters, our first responders. May God bless all of our men and women undercover. And may God bless the United States of America. Thank you very much. It's been a real honor to be